So, hello everyone, this is lecture 41 for the classical physics. In the last lecture, we have started the rotational dynamics and we were discussing about the moment of inertia. I told you a lot thing about the moment of inertia and we were discussing about the symmetry. And I told you that if you are getting the same symmetry, then moment of inertia will remain same. Like for the circular disk, you have mr square by 2, and if this is half circular disk and it is rotating around it, it will make a same symmetry like this, so it will remain the same. Moment of inertia will remain same, just mass will change, and that will be of this half disk. Same for this quarter also, you will get the same moment of inertia, but only the mass will change. So we were discussing about that. Now let's see the solid cylinder first. So now the solid cylinder is made up of a large number of disks. So let's say the mass of one disk is dm. So for the one, that will moment of inertia will be dm r square, and all are rotating with the same omega. So we can just take the total total moment of inertia will be sum of individuals. So it will be dm1, dm2, dm3 r square. So I will be mr square by 2. So you are getting the same mr square by 2 for the solid cylinder also. Now let's discuss some questions based on the moment of inertia. So we have this annular type structure, annulus. So wherever you have this type of cavity inside the structure, you will call that annulus. So an annulus of mass m made of a material of uniform density have inner and outer radius a and b respectively. Its principal moment of inertia along the axis perpendicular to the plane of the annulus is of symmetry. So we need to find the moment of inertia along the perpendicular from the center. Okay, this is your principal axis from here. So we need to find the moment of inertia. So how can we find? Now see, as I told you, you need to find the symmetry first. So if you rotate this, it will give you the circular symmetry, or you can just see this as this is complete half disk and this part is removed from it. So this is given, this is your mass density is given per unit area. So we'll use this thing. I will tell you about this. So first, how can you find this? So see, this is your half disk and you need to find the moment of inertia for this one. So any particles inside the having a moment of inertia, this complete will be the sum of individuals. So this moment of inertia of this disk will be equal to moment of inertia this half and moment of inertia this annulus region. So these two combined will give you this moment of inertia. So you can write the moment of inertia this as a sum of these. Okay, as we are doing always, we are taking the sum of all the moment of inertia. That's why we can do this here also. So we know moment of inertia for this, we know moment of inertia for this, and we need to find for this. So we can assume this x as I2, and what will be the moment of inertia for this? It will be ma square by 2. Mass is this half disk, or this one reason means this is the mass for this and mass m for this. So mb square by 2 for that will be for this and for this. Okay, means you know how to find. You just use this formula mr square by 2 for the moment of inertia, and mass will be different for the different structure. So what will the mass for this complete area, or this area will be pi b square by 2, and sigma is the mass per unit area. So it will give you mass of this. So this will be the mass of this half disk b square. This is moment of inertia for this disk. For this, mass will be sigma multiply pi a square by 2. So this will give you mass of this ma square by 2, and you need to find this. Now you can directly find this I2, that will be, this will be subtracted from this. So you will get this value. I2 is half m b square plus a square. Means in place of sigma you will substitute this value, and last you will get, this is your answer for this reason. So what we used here, actually this is the concept. Moment of inertia of a composite body, that is this composite body, will be equal to the sum of the moment of inertia of the component bodies about the same axis. So this composite body, moment of inertia for this composite body will be equal to the moment of inertia for the individual ones or its objects around the same axis. So that was the concept we used here to calculate the moment of inertia for this annulus region. Okay, so let's see the same the question based on the same concept. So this question was given, this is your structure complete disk and this part is removed from it. So question is, consider a uniform thin circular disk of radius r and m mass. A hole of radius r by 4, this is radius r by 4 hole, is cut out from the disk. What is the moment of inertia of the resultant disk about an axis passing through the center of disk O and perpendicular to it? So we need to find moment of inertia along this axis. For this small axis, this will be passes from here. So we need to find the moment of inertia of the resultant disk about an axis passing through the center of mass O and perpendicular to it. So what will be the moment of inertia for the resulting one? Means this hole is made in this disk. Now what will be the moment of inertia? So again use the same formula we use. The composite complete disk will be equal to, for this one and plus this annulus region. So we will use the same formula, that is mr square by 2 will be equal to moment of inertia for this one is small disk and we will assume this as x. So for the small one, how you can find the moment of inertia along this region? So that will be equal to, first you will find the moment of inertia along the center of center of mass. For this one, it will be m this square divided by 2, and then you will use the parallel axis theorem to find the moment of inertia of this small hole along this. Then that will be your moment of inertia, and it will be your value, plus x is the for the remaining structure. So you need to find this x value. You will just substitute the values here and find the value of x. That will give you answer. This will be your answer here. So try to solve it. It is the same concept we used in the last question. So I hope you can solve this. Let's see the next question. These are all based on the same concept. So consider a uniform thin circular disc of radius capital R and mass m, a concentric square of side r by 2. Concentric matlab means you have the same center for both of them. A concentric square of side r by 2 is cut out from the disc as shown in the figure. What is the moment of inertia of the resulting disc about an axis passing through the center and perpendicular to it? So a concentric square of side r by 2 is cut out. So again you cut out this part from this complete disc, and you need to find the moment of inertia of the resulting one. So again this resulting means this complete disc moment of inertia will be equal to sum of this one and this one. So you know what is the moment of inertia along the square sheet, we already calculated that, and you can put that value, and for this one you will assume x, and the complete for the disc it will be mr square by 2. So use the formula and you will get your value. That will be, answer will be this, mr square by 2 1 minus 1 upon 48 pi. So try to solve this. Now let's see some general formulas you must remember for the moment of inertia. So if you have this annulus type structure and this radius is a and this is b, so moment of inertia will be equal to I equal to 1 upon 2 m is the mass of this, a square plus b square, and it will be same for a complete disc, and you have this hollow here. So this is again the same annulus region. So this will remain same because if you rotate this will give you the same symmetry as for the disc. So it will just remain same, half m a square plus b square. Just mass will change. It was for this half, now it will be for the complete disc. Now see this cylinder type structure where you have this hole. So this is also made up of large number of this same thing. So it will be, assume mass is dm for the first one, dm1, dm2, dm3. So it will again give you the same value as you are having here, because symmetry is same, m by 2 a square plus b square. Now see, you must remember these formulas also. For the solid sphere, you have moment of inertia as 2 by 5 mr square, and 2 by 3 mr square for the hollow sphere. Okay, so remember these formulas, very important. Now you have the triangular type laminar structure 2D, and you have the axis along the centroid. Then the moment of inertia will be 1 by 12 ml square, where L is the length of the equilateral triangle and m is the mass of this laminar sheet. So equilateral triangular plate. So this will be your moment of inertia. Remember these formulas. Now let's see, we have a triangle which has the angle 2 beta here, and this length is L, this length is L. So this will be fixed according to the beta. So now this triangle is in the plane of xy. So assume that this is in the plane of xy, and this is rotating along the z axis. So it is rotating like this. So moment of inertia of this triangle will be ml square by 2 1 minus 2 by 3 sine square beta. So remember this formula. Now you have the conical type structure, and you have hollow cone. So moment of inertia will be mr square by 2, and if it is solid cone, then moment of inertia will be 3 by 10 mr square, where r is the radius of the cone. Now there is one more. So you have this cylindrical type structure which has length L and radius r, and you need to find the moment of inertia. It is rotating like this. So moment of inertia will be ml square by 12 plus mr square by 4. Now see, you can see this formula as this way also. If you squeeze this radius tends to 0, then it will become a rod, single rod. So when r tends to 0, it will become ml square by 12. So we already proved this formula, ml square by 12. So it is just same here. Now you just what you will do, you just squeeze this length, means you will squeeze this end and this end to this single one. So this will become a disc, and it will be like this disc, and this is your axis on it. So what happens, this length tends to 0, so this will give you moment of inertia as mr square by 4, and this is the same as you have for the disc, mr square by 4 mr square by 4, and sum will give you mr square by 2 to the iz. So that's how you can relate this formula. It is valid there. Now let's see some questions asked in the previous years. So two bodies of equal m mass are connected by massless rod L. lying in xy plane center at origin. System is rotating about z axis with omega frequency. You need to find the angular momentum L. So these are two masses and you need to find the angular momentum for this. So you know angular momentum formula is L equal to I omega. So if you know I and omega is given, so you can find the L. So let's find the moment of inertia. So it will be first m, this distance square, plus m, this distance square. So this will be your moment of inertia. Now L is I omega, so I is this. So this will be your answer. This is a very simple question asked in the previous year questions. Next question is, an object is made from a thin wire and is shaped like a square with a side length L and total mass m. What is the moment of inertia of this object around an axis that passes through the center of a square and is perpendicular to it? Now this is a wire of length L and this is surrounded, means you made a square with the help of this length, okay, and each length is L, and the total mass of this is capital M mass capital M. Now see, you need to find the moment of inertia of this hollow type ring type structure, but it is square. So you need to find the moment of inertia along this axis. So first you will find the moment of inertia for this one length, and that will give, just multiply by 4, it will give you for the 4 ends or the 4 sides. Now how you find for the first one? So this is your length, and you know for this single one the moment of inertia will be ml square by 12 for the single rod. Now you need to find this along this axis. So this will be parallel axis theorem you will use. So it will be ml square by 12 plus total mass m. Your mass will be m by 4 because you are using only for this side. So it will be m by 4 multiplied this distance is l by 2 square. So this will give you moment of inertia along this axis for this one. Now multiply by 4, it will give you the complete moment of inertia for all the sides. So answer will be ml square by 3. So try to solve this question. There's one more question. A straight rod of length A is made of an unusual material having mass per unit length mu x as lambda mod x, where x is measured from the center of mass of the rod. Moment of inertia about an axis perpendicular to the rod and passing through the one of its end is given by. So now see, normally we see the cases where mass is uniformly distributed, but here mass is not uniformly distributed. It is depending on this function, means mass is changing with the length. So, and this is mode, that's why we can say that the mass is distributed same as in the right side, same as at the left hand side. So that's why the center of mass will remain same at the center. So that's why we take the center of mass at the center. Now see, we need to find the moment of inertia for this along this axis. So how you can find? Now you will use again here this dx is at the x distance and mass is dm. So dm this time will be, this mu is mass per unit length, so at x length it will be mu x, and dx will give you mass of dm. Now see, you need to find the moment of inertia, so it will be x square dm. So dm is this value, substitute here. Now limit will be minus l by 2 to l by 2. So this is a even function, so you can write just 0 to l by 2 and multiply with 2 here. Now you can remove this mod because these limits are positive here, so x mod x will be x here, so it will be x cube dx. Now integrate, it will give you value lambda l by 4, l4 divided by 32. So this will be your answer for the moment of inertia. Means this is not your answer, this is along the center of mass, but what you need to find is an axis perpendicular to the rod and passing through the one of its end is given by. So you need to find the moment of inertia along the axis which is passing through the end of the rod. So you find this moment of inertia along the center of mass. So how you can find this one? Now you will use the parallel axis theorem. So this will be moment of inertia along the center of mass plus total mass m, and distance between them is l by 2 square. But see, you don't know this capital M mass, total mass, so you need to again use the formula to find the total mass. So dm was this lambda mod x dx. So integrate it for the 0 to l minus l by 2 to l by 2, so to get the total mass. It will be this. So again, this is a even function, it will be 0 to l by 2 to lambda s dx. This will give you total mass, that is lambda l square by 4. Now you have total mass, substitute it here, and that will be your moment of inertia along the end of the rod. So this will be your answer. Now the next topic is rigid bodies. So what are rigid bodies? See, up to here we were discussing about those structures which are symmetric around the principal axis. But the thing is that you don't have always a symmetric things. It can be any type of structure which is rotating around an axis. But see, in that structure also, the all particles will be rotating with the same angular frequency, and they are not changing the position. Means any distance between any 2 points will not be changing. This will always remain fixed within the rotation. Means they are rotating, but the length between any two particles will remain intact as it is. So then we call that body as a rigid body. Means distance should not change. The structure should not change when it is rotating. So that's how we can call something as rigid body. So this distance must remain constant between any two particles. Distance should remain constant when they are rotating. So a body is said to be rigid body if relative position of parts of body remain unchanged. Relative position means position of A with respect to B and B with respect to C. So that position should remain unchanged. And size and shape of the rigid body remain intact. So it should stay as it is while rotating. So now we will see that how a body which is which can be at any structure and rotating around the principal axis and having the same angular velocity. So how can you find the moment of inertia for that? So first you have this Rij should be constant for the rigid body. Now let's see what will the degree of freedom in this kind of structure in the rigid body. So degree of freedom associated with the rigid body is 6. How these are means you will say that some center of mass will be there for this complete body, and that will have x, y, z translational vectors. So 3 will be for the transition. So out of 6, 3 are used to describe its translational motion of the rigid body. For this purpose, 3 coordinates are attached with center of mass in general, that is x0, y0, z0. But now there is rotation also. So there will be 3 theta, we will call them. They are also associated with the body. To specify the orientation of the rigid body, how it is oriented. Orientation of the rigid body with fixed axis system. 3 angular coordinates are used which are called the Euler's angle, that is phi, theta and psi. So they will be used in the rotational motion to describe the orientation when there is fixed axis. When axis is fixed, then you need these 3 coordinates to describe the motion of that body. And when it is moving and rotating, then you will not need all the 6. And when it is only transition, then you need only 3 these x, y, z for the center of mass. Means when the rigid body is moving in the transition motion, then you will need only these 3. When it is rotating around some fixed axis, then you will need 3, that was phi, theta and psi. But when it is rotating and moving forward, then there will be 6 generalized coordinates will be associated with the center of mass. So that is your rigid body. So that's all for today. In the next lecture, we'll see how can we find the moment of inertia for that system. We will see the moment of inertia tensor. So I will tell you about that. So that's it. Thank you everyone.